Hi, Keith.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Just want to make sure we got a quorum. So if you can turn on your cameras if you're able to. I think we are good. Okay, I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Board of Retirement. Today is Wednesday, August 3rd, and the time is 9 a.m. I will pass this over to Bonnie for the introductions.
Thank you, Vice Chair Kehoe. This meeting is being held virtually, so I will do a roll call of the trustees to confirm attendance. Mr. Knox?
I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Gray? Mr. Santos?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, Vivian.
Mr. Sanchez?
Hi, good morning.
Mr. Moore?
I'm here.
Mr. Robbins?
Here.
Mr. Harris?
I'm here.
Ms. Zapanta? Mr. Bernstein?
Good morning.
Vice Chair Kehoe?
Good morning.
Great. Staff participating in the meeting include CEO Santos Kryman, Deputy CEO Louis Lugo, Assistant Executive Officers JJ Popowich and Laura Guglielmo, CIO John Grable, Chief Counsel Stephen Rice, Senior Staff Counsel Frank Boyd, Fern Billingy, and Jessica Rivas, Legislative Affairs Officer Barry Liu. Disability litigation staff include Vincent Lim and Jason Waller. Staff and managers participating today include Carly Natoya, Kathy Delino, Ted Granger, Barry Liu, Cassandra Smith, Ricky Contreras, Tamara Caldwell, Vicky Neely, Carrie Wilson, Hernan Barrientos, and Ricardo Salinas. LACERA's medical advisor, Dr. Ellen Arisman, is also participating. And consultants include Lisa Moreno from Kaiser, and Janet Jennings and Robert Schmidt from Milliman. Trustees, please use the Zoom chat option to be placed in the queue. At this time, we ask all meeting participants to mute their mics until you are ready to speak, and we may proceed with the agenda.
Great, thank you, Bonnie. We're going to move on to item 2, which is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of July 6, 2022. I'll need a motion.
I'll move. I will second.
Moved and seconded. Okay, please call the roll, Bonnie.
Mr. Knox?
Aye.
Ms. Gray?
Aye.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Robbins?
Aye.
Mr. Bernstein?
Aye.
Vice Chair Kehoe?
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next item is our public comment period. Do we have any requests from the public to speak?
Yes, we do have one request regarding item 13A. Jeffrey Castle is on the line. Mr. Castle, you may enter *6 to be unmuted, and you will have 3 minutes to address the board, and you may begin now. Mr. Castle, you may enter *6 to be unmuted, and you will have 3 minutes to address the board, and you may begin now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for granting me this time and the opportunity to appeal the denial of my reciprocity with STRS and LACERA. Reciprocity, as I'm sure you're aware, is a special relationship that exists between LACERA and certain public retirement systems located in California, including STRS, to encourage career-long public service. My move from LA County Probation to the Fresno Unified School District seems to fit this perfectly. What is being contested here is whether or not 2 days of subbing for Fresno Unified should disqualify me for reciprocity. When I applied for reciprocity, I was informed that I'm being denied due to working a total of 2 sub days during off days from the probation department. The rule that has been stated as the reason for my denial is designed to prevent double dipping in retirement accounts. I would hardly consider what I was doing double dipping. During the calendar year of 1995, I worked 2 sub days over what was 2 different school years. I worked a total of 12 hours and received about $150 in compensation. As a part of routine paperwork to be a sub, I was entered into STRS. My combined service time for the calendar year in question was 0.0114. It's about 1% of a year. 1 day was in the 1994-95 school year, and one was in the 1995-96 school year. I believe it's an unfair punishment to lose 8 years of service credit due to .0114 service credit earned over the course of 2 school years. In front of you is the contribution line report that shows the days that were worked. It's my belief that the only reason my quest for reciprocity was denied and we've ended up at this step without a resolution is that an employee from Fresno Unified's payroll department erroneously completed a form that had been submitted to LACERA. In front of you should be a letter from Stephen Shubin, the payroll director in Fresno Unified, that rectifies that error. As you can see in the letter, I did not begin full employment with Fresno Unified until 1/26/96. This is over a month after leaving employment with LA County Probation, and yet well within the 6-month time period to qualify for reciprocity. I hope that you'll take this opportunity to rectify this situation and grant my appeal. My 2 sub days were designed to give me a chance to test the waters and see if teaching was for me. I did find that the satisfaction I found in working with our youth in the probation halls and camps continued as I was able to enjoy being a teacher of elementary school students for 24 years. What they are considering overlapping service was not due to sick time or vacation time. It was just 2 random days during my off days from probation. The second day that I subbed was from an October pay period 2 months before I left the employment with LA County. In the LACERA information page, which you also have in front of you on the internet dated 2022, it states that overlapping service may cause disqualification.
Mr.
It may
Castle,
lead
please
to
wrap up your comments.
I am. The may leads to an understanding that each person should be looked at through the eye of their own situation, and the intent of the code should be considered in looking at each individual case. It is my hope that you will see the situation for the injustice that it is. Thank you for your time and attention. And that wraps me up.
Thank you. Great, thank you. And your item will be held in closed session later towards the end of the meeting. Thank you. Okay, this will bring us to other communications, and I believe that we have our June 2022 All-Stars.
Thank you very much, Trustee Kehoe. Forgive the lack of mine being on screen. I'm currently dealing with COVID, so working remotely doing that. Please join me in welcoming, congratulating our All-Stars for this month. These are folks that have gone above and beyond for everything that they've done for our members and for other staff. And so they're on your screen. Vazi Majran, Cynthia Lachey, Antonio Ramos, David Escamilla, and Shamila Freeman. So thank you very much and appreciate everything that you do for us.
Thanks, JJ. Hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Let's move on to our CEO's report.
Yes, thank you, Vice Chair Kehoe, trustees. Good morning, everyone. Just a couple of comments. Wanted to let you know that the strategic planning process is continuing forward. The APTs have been meeting for the last couple of months now, making really good progress. They'll be making presentations to what we term the Spark team, or the council that includes our trustees in September, so that they can provide some additional input and some direction as we move forward to finalize the plans and the action plans, the strategic plan and the action plans as well. So we're looking forward to our September meeting with the Spark team and the various APT groups. Did want to let you know that the cost of living adjustments did hit everyone's, all of staff's paychecks on the 30th. And so we're pleased with that. We're still working on making sure that the $1,000 bonus is reflected on the next pay period for our staff as well. And so we're very pleased that we were able to get that done. And just as a reminder, it was a retroactive situation. So beginning January 1st of this particular year. So we're pleased with that. Wanted to just remind you that that the elections for the safety member elections, the voting will start on Friday. Credentials are supposed to go out on the 4th of August. So please, if any of the trustees receive any questions from our members, feel free to send them my way or send them to Louis, and we'll be more than happy to work them through the executive office to make sure that all the credentials are working properly and that those that want to vote are able to. So I did want to mention, the one thing, let me go back. In terms of the strategic planning, we did issue the survey to our members. The one interesting comment, and it's kind of related to our elections in the future, is that the majority of the responses have come through the mail as opposed to online surveys. And so I think that is going to definitely be a topic of discussion as we start moving forward. And we begin to prepare for the elections for our retired members, especially. And so we're looking at that information, and we'll go ahead and dissect that, and we'll report that out as soon as we get the results of all the surveys. And so I know that Louis will make sure that we evaluate that as well. So the recruitment updates is on the is in my report. I do want to let you know that we did open up the Retiree Benefits Specialist 1, our trainee position. I believe we opened it up on Monday. We already have 170 candidates. And so we were looking for 200 candidates. So we're anticipating that we're going to be able to close that exam, at least the acceptance of applications, by Monday or Tuesday of next week. And so I think we have a pretty good candidate pool to go through. It's quite a process that we have to go through in terms of you know, the interviews and the written exams and everything that's required of our trainees. So that is well on its way. I know that the investment staff are interviewing for the portfolio analytics FA3 position, and so they're in the process of interviewing and banding folks before they make their selections, or Mr. Grable makes the selections for that particular position. The ESG position, that one, we're going to have a conversation with Mr. Grable. There wasn't a whole lot of candidates for that particular position, and so we need to figure out what we're going to do with that particular item moving forward. And so we're making good progress on those particular items, and there'll be a larger discussion. There's a report, I believe, that we can discuss in more greater detail as we move forward. So those are my comments. I wanted to make sure that you were all aware. One last thing. I did receive an email from the Chief Executive Officer regarding our lifetime maximum benefits concern. And so they're ready and prepared to meet with us. I'm not sure exactly what their decisions are going to be, but our intention is to talk to them about options to resolve that particular issue, whether it's to remove the lifetime maximum benefit cap, increase it. Those are the two options that I think would be something that we really need to consider and talk to the county about. So with that, I'm more than happy, my staff and I are more than happy to stand for questions.
Great, thank you. And I appreciate the recruitment update in your CEO's report. It's very informative. I really appreciate that. I'm sure that my fellow trustees do as well. I know Cassandra Smith is also here, and we have Kaiser on board if we had any questions. And I appreciate Kaiser for being here and being available regarding the data leak. But I will open it up for any questions. Seeing none, let's go ahead and move along to the disability retirement applications on consent calendar. We will move to the applications 752D on page 1 through 778D on page 2. I'll make that motion. I'll need a second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Let's please vote.
Mr. Knox,
Aye.
Ms. Gray,
Aye.
Mr. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez.
Aye.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Mr. Robbins,
Aye.
Mr. Bernstein,
Aye.
Vice Chair Kehoe.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. That moves us to our fire and lifeguard safety members, application 1501B through 1514B.
I'll move it.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Go ahead and call the roll.
Mr. Knox,
Aye.
Ms. Gray,
Aye.
Mr. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez,
Aye.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Mr. Robbins,
Aye.
Mr. Bernstein,
Aye.
Vice Chair Kehoe.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. That moves us to our general members. We got 2 pages that's going to cover application 2412C through 2423C.
Move approval.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Let's go
Mr.
ahead.
Knox,
Aye.
Ms. Gray,
Aye.
Mr. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez,
Aye.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Mr. Robbins,
Aye.
Mr. Bernstein,
Aye.
Vice Chair Kehoe.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. That moves us to our consent items, item A through D. I'll go ahead and take a motion for those items.
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Let's please call the roll for consent items.
Mr. Knox,
Aye.
Ms. Gray,
Aye.
Mr. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez,
Aye.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Mr. Robbins,
Aye.
Mr. Bernstein,
Aye.
Vice Chair Kehoe.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We are moving right along. We have no excluded consent items, so we're going to move along to our non-consent item. We have item A, which is a recommendation that the board review the 2022 meeting schedule for the Wednesday, October 5th meeting. We have a suggestion of moving it to 3 dates. One is October 6th, one is the 11th, and one is the 13th. To start off the conversation, I'm going to propose October 6th. That's just pushing it back 1 day. And is there any objection to the October 6th date?
I will second the motion.
Perfect. Moved and seconded. Last call for objections to October 6th.
That one doesn't work for me, but I'm fine. I'll see if Elizabeth can attend in my absence. If not, then we'll skip.
Okay. Let me see if there's any other trustees with any conflicts on October 6th.
I would say the next week is actually bad for me, so I realize nothing's perfect, but I appreciate this solution.
Perfect. Okay, so with no objection, let's go ahead and take, we have a motion for canceling October 5th and moving that to October 6th. So let's go ahead and call the roll on that.
Mr. Knox,
Aye.
Ms. Gray,
Aye.
Mr. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez,
Aye.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Mr. Robbins,
Aye.
Mr. Bernstein,
Aye.
Vice Chair Kehoe.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Perfect, thank you. That moves us to item B, which is a recommendation that the board approve the July 1st, 2021 OPEB actuarial evaluation. We all have a memo dated July 20th, 2022 with material and information for us. I know that we'd all love a 2-hour presentation from our actuarials, but I will just open it up to the trustees if they have any questions about any of the material that's been presented to us.
I would say that I thought the report was well put together, and if there's new material to be presented, I'm happy to hear it, but I'm happy to move the recommendation.
I'll second it.
Okay, recommendation is moved and seconded. Any last call for any questions from our actuaries?
It's not a question, Mr. Chair, if I may. If we can inquire of the CIO with regards to where the plans are to begin investing the OPEB trust fund to alternatives. I'm not sure if Mr. Rabel is on board or not.
He is here and looks like he is ready to answer.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, trustees. And there is a recommendation to begin or for the Board of Investments to retain a party to begin that transition to, I think it's about 20% alternatives, and that's scheduled to on the agenda for next week's Board of Investment meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I definitely appreciate us slowly creeping up on the funded status for OPEB. So like those numbers. Okay, perfect. Then if I see no additional questions, we have a motion that's been moved and seconded to adopt the OPEB. So let's go ahead and please call the roll.
Mr. Knox,
Aye.
Ms. Gray,
Aye.
Mr. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez,
Aye.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Mr. Robbins, Mr. Robbins, Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Bernstein,
Aye.
Vice Chair Kehoe.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you all. We're going to move along to our reports. Item A, we have Ms. Cassandra Smith to give us an update on the retiree healthcare call center.
Good morning, Ms. Chair Kehoe and trustees. At last month's Board of Retirement meeting, you heard from member services who presented their call center wait times. And in today's presentation, you will hear their outline. We will outline the increase in our retiree healthcare call volume, our hold times, our decrease in staffing, and the actions that we are taking to enhance the members' experience and providing quality service going forward. On the screen, you should be seeing shortly. Let's see. Hold on. It seems like they may be having an issue. But
Bonnie was having an issue sharing the screen, but I think somebody else was done.
there we go. Bonnie, please go to our org chart. There we go. So on the screen, you see Retiree Healthcare's organizational chart, which reflects the units that we are budgeted along with our positions. For the past couple of years, we have functioned with a total of 27 for the entire retiree healthcare staff. I am happy to report that just this past Monday, Retiree Healthcare onboarded 3 new staff who have been assigned to our call center. And they are actually in training now, learning to handle our calls for the members when they call in. As have been seen in other parts of the organization, over the last few years, Retiree Healthcare has had our share of historical trends over the last few years: staffing attrition, increase in workload that comes into the office, which you'll hear more about during the presentation. Keisha, take it away.
Thank you, Cassandra. Good morning, Mr. Chair and trustees. My name is Keisha Munn. I am the Retiree Healthcare Call Center Manager. Ms. Williams-Martin and I will be discussing the increase in call volume, hold times, decrease in staffing, and the actions being taken to ensure customer satisfaction and quality service. Our biggest challenge over the last year has been staffing. Ms. Williams-Martin will discuss this further in the next slide. Next slide, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and trustees. My name is Letha Williams-Martin, and I am the Retiree Healthcare Call Center Supervisor. This graph reflects the call center staffing from 2018 to 2022. Next slide, please. The Retiree Healthcare Call Center has 4 full-time dedicated specialists assisting our members. Be advised that there has been a decline in the call center staff from 2020 to 2022. Retiree Healthcare had one specialist to retire in 2020, and in 2022, 2 specialists left the company and 2 were promoted. One of the promoted specialists is considered a hybrid specialist and works in the operations in the morning and in the call center in the afternoon. Retiree Healthcare Call Center is budgeted for 10 retirement benefit specialists. Due to the decline in call center staff at high peak time, resources are pulled from operations and the audits unit to assist with our members' calls. Although this is not an ideal situation, answering the members' calls are our first priority. We are happy to report that effective August the 1st, 2022, Retiree Healthcare has hired 3 retirement benefit specialists for the call center who will undergo a rigorous 3 months training. Previously, Retiree Healthcare new hires participated in the core benefits training program lasting approximately 10 to 15 months. Next slide, please. Overtime has been used to manage the high volume of healthcare enrollments and Medicare Part B verifications due to staff assisting the call center during peak times. The main driver of the rising wait times are unfilled positions. While we do expect call volumes to decrease once the call center is fully staffed, we also anticipate wait times to decrease and processing of enrollment forms and the Medicare Part Bs to improve. Next slide, please.
Our call volume has increased over the last 4 years. If you look at the graph, typically our calls spike in December through February around the time our members begin to submit their Medicare Part B verifications. It is important to note the stats for 2022 are only for the first 5 months of the year. Based on our current staffing, it will be difficult to meet our desired goals and grade of service. Next slide, please.
If you were to look at the average wait times from 2019 to 2020, when the call center was fully staffed, you will see that the wait times for the most part did not exceed 6 minutes. As we had a reduction in staff in 2021, you begin to see the wait times increase. In 2022, retiree healthcare call centers struggled more than ever before due to a lack of staffing, which in turn meant we handled less calls and the wait times increased. Next slide, please. Approximately 5% of calls received are non-RHC related calls and are transferred to our member services call center. During the annual Medicare Part B verification mailing and the Retiree Healthcare Annual Letter Packet mailing, Member Services Call Centers receives an overflow of these calls. Retiree Healthcare Call Center representatives respond to complex inquiries such as Medicare enrollments and turning 65. Next slide, please. Reflected on the call topics graph, please note the call topics that are primarily driving the calls were medical inquiries and medical and dental and vision enrollments. For example, a medical inquiry could be a letter received from the County of Los Angeles after a member retires, healthcare subsidy and premium rates, eligibility for survivor benefits, and/or adding a dependent. Next slide, please.
This graph outlines the increase in work objects submitted to retiree healthcare. If you compare the 2021 Medicare Part B verifications to 2022, we have already surpassed the total work objects for the prior years. The work objects could also include duplicate submissions by members. Since preparing this presentation, RHC has approximately 5,862 Medicare Part B work objects to review and/or process. Next slide, please. Some changes we've made to decrease call volume and empower our members are creating an instructional video on how to complete enrollment forms. There will be step-by-step instructions on the correct way to complete forms, as well as examples of corresponding documents that may need to be submitted. We have automated several of our confirmation letters. When members submit documents, they receive instant notification of receipt. Lastly, call center staff continue to promote the use of a LACERA web portal. Members have the ability to upload documents directly to their accounts. Next slide, please. For your reference, there is additional information regarding the call center's performance located in the appendix.
Thank you, Keisha. Thank you, Lita. LACERA as an organization is in alignment and determined to improve our service levels. Retiree healthcare has now filled the three of the position vacancies that we found in our call center, and will continue looking to fill the remaining vacancies that we have. The entire retiree healthcare division, now 30 of us, have been dedicated and committed to addressing the increase in our call volume, as well as the increase in our overall workload. Everyone has strived to answer our calls and helping in the processing of enrollments and Medicare Part B verifications, etc. We will continue looking to improve our members' experience, and once again, when contacting our office. While internally, we have separate call centers and work units, each designed to and focused to handle different parts of the member's benefit. The bottom line is we all are LACERA. One focus, same goal of servicing our members with quality service. With that, we'll stand for any questions.
Great, thank you very much for the presentation. I'm glad to see you're getting back to full staffing there. It's scary when you're losing half your staff. When somebody calls with a retired healthcare question and they call the regular number, I know that hold times could potentially be up to 30 minutes in some cases. If they have a retiree healthcare question, is there do they have to wait through that 30-minute wait before they can get routed to you, or is there a way that they can call directly to or get assistance directly from retiree healthcare side?
I think
The way that, oh, go ahead, Santos.
no, go ahead, Cassandra. I think Lewis can add after you speak.
There are instructional directions that are provided to members when they call in, allowing them to press an option, whether it be 0, 1, 2, 3, which will direct them to whichever unit that the individual is trying to reach. Sometimes we find that members don't press the correct option. Unfortunately, once they press that option, though, they are in the queue and they will have to wait that time. Lewis, did you have anything to add?
Yes, thank you, Cassandra, and good morning, Chair Kehoe and trustees. We are going to be going into detail on some of the efforts that we're some of the efforts underway in terms of our queue architecture, as well as some of the call wait time resources the additional resources that we're going to look at allocating during our OOC briefing. There's going to be more detail that will be provided there as well.
Yeah, and Vice Chair Kehoe, what I can tell you about the queue is we had been studying it, and Cookie has been really doing a good job working on trying to get the tree done properly. One of the things that we're going to do is require our members to listen to the entire menu before they can press the the appropriate number. The other also is that we're going to remove 0 as an option, because it's sort of the default when members call in, they just press 0 automatically. And that goes directly to our member services line. So what we're going to do is, and then we've also realized that a lot of the calls have to do with portal resets. And so that's going to be the first number that you'll be able to press, is if you want to reset your member portal or your password, press 1. If you want to go to retiree healthcare, we're going to do retiree healthcare as the number 2. And then the number 3 option would be their member services or our retirement benefit counseling number. And so we're putting those queues together. And I don't want to steal Lewis's thunder, but we do realize that Cassandra and member services, we believe it is a staffing issue. So we have reached out to all of our division managers, those individuals that have experience in retiree healthcare, for example, or have experience in member services that have been promoted into benefits, which is a completely different work, and QA are going to be assigned to member services, maybe not on a full-time basis, but maybe during the peak hours. And so we're in the process of working that through. In addition, this is a logical stopping point for our trainees, where 10 trainees will be dedicated to dealing with the password resets and answering some preliminary, basic retirement questions as part of our member services. So we're moving the resources that we think we need to move in order to reduce those call wait times, and to provide our members with a better experience when they're going through their trying to get their questions answered. And so I do want to apologize to our members for the delay. No one, quite frankly, is more frustrated about not being able to provide the high level of service that our members should deserve than myself, Louis, and my entire team. And so we're marshaling the resources that we need in order to deal with this issue. Ultimately, we're counting on the trainees to assist us once they complete their training sometime in October or November. So we have 2 training classes right now. Half of them will be dedicated to the member services call center. The other half will continue their training. And then at a specific period in time, they will switch and see how that works. And so we're trying a lot of different things to address this particular issue. I know it's a big concern for all of the trustees, but I want you to rest assured that we are working on it, and that we are, we had to be methodical about it because I didn't want to, implement something and then it impacts other areas of the business. And so we appreciate your patience. So with that, be more than happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, Mr. Santos.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for that report, staff. My question is, well, before I ask the question, I believe that the instructional video for helping the members fill out the different forms, and specifically in this case, healthcare forms, is key. So, and simplifying the instructions, very important in my view. So when, and that is work in progress, so by when we should expect the final product to be available for the members?
We've been working very closely with our communications area, which is assisting us. I'm not sure if Cynthia is on the line, which may be able to give us a definitive timeline, but I know for sure that they've been working diligently and getting that up for us.
By the way, Cassandra, if I may, Mr. Chair, really quick, I sat through the retiree healthcare presentation yesterday afternoon. I think it was outstanding. The staff did a tremendous job. So it was good, very informative. So just pass it along that I was really impressed with the presentation and the patience with regards to some of the questions that were asked.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We are in hopes to have that up and running next month, Mr. Santos.
Thank you, ma'am.
Additional questions? Great. Thank you very much for your presentation from everybody from Retiree Healthcare. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, this moves us on to information only items for the reports. We have B through G. If any trustees have any questions on any of those reports. Hearing none, that brings us to items for staff review. I don't believe that we provided any direction.
That's correct.
So we will go to good of the order. Go ahead and please call the roll there, Bonnie.
Mr. Knox?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Cassandra, and your team in the call center. I've said it before, I manage a call center where a lot of people call and they're typically not happy after having waited and trying to figure out which buttons to push. So it's a delicate balance, and I certainly appreciate all your efforts. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Gray.
I have nothing.
Thank you, Mr. Santos.
Yes, like I mentioned earlier, I sat through the retiree healthcare as well as the pension presentation in the morning. It's very happy with it. I think the combination of having Empower, also the long-term care presentation, as well as the retirement process is really important. The staff did a tremendous job yesterday, both on the pension presentation as well as the retiree healthcare. So please pass it along to the staff. It's great. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez.
Just again, thank you to the staff for the reports. Nothing else from me.
Mr. Moore.
Thank the staff for that report, that presentation. Call centers are always a point of consternation for users, and I'm glad to see all the effort to make it a much better experience for our clients. Thanks.
Mr. Robbins.
Just a shout out to all of the staff that worked on the reports. They're appreciated very much. Tough issue. Hopefully we're gonna get things turned around and be back to the old LACERA.
Mr. Harris.
I'll mirror Mr. Robbins' comments, but thank the staff for all their efforts.
Mr. Bernstein.
Nothing for me today.
Mr. Lewis Lugo.
Just to reiterate again what Mr. Kryman stated, we appreciate the trustees' patience, and again, also appreciate the collective staff's efforts in getting our customer service issues resolved. So look forward to going in deeper dive during OAK.
JJ Popovich.
I just want to echo what Mr. Lugo mentioned and thank the trustees for their patience as we get this addressed and improve the service that we're providing. So thank you very much. And thank you very much to all the staff who's working very hard to get to members as quickly as we possibly can.
Laura Guglielmo.
Good morning. I just echo what my colleagues have said. Thanks.
Stephen Rice.
Good morning. Nothing to add.
Santos Kryman.
So I just wanted to personally thank all of my staff for all their hard work and the cooperation that I've seen over the last 3-4 weeks in terms of trying to address our call center situation. It's been a real pleasure talking with you all and listening to your different ideas, and there's a lot to be done. There are a lot of changes that we're going to need to make in terms of our training and so on and so forth. I think 10 months or 12 months is just way too long, quite frankly. So we really need to take a look at the different tracks. But I think that if the trustees were able to witness the discussion, they would have been incredibly impressed with the professionalism and the thoughtfulness and all the ideas that came out of those discussions. And so we're implementing the first phase of the crisis plan, because I do believe that this is a crisis, to get these call volumes down and get the call durations down. So I, again, thank you to the trustees for your leadership and for your patience. We will get this done properly.
Thank you. Vice Chair Kehoe.
Thank you. I'll keep my comments generic, but this will be the second time that a safety election will be electronic. So I will keep LACERA and fellow trustees posted on how that process works. Hopeful that most of the bugs have been worked out and it will be a smooth process. And I'll just leave with my general comments about that for the retirees. I still strongly oppose the electronic voting for retirees. I think there should be paper ballots as we noticed with the surveys. So I think that's important. Different for active employees that have computer access. Totally different for retirees. So. But I will once again keep LACERA posted, just generally, because I think it's important for us to be able to monitor this process for elected trustees. That being said, let's go ahead and move us into closed sessions. We're going to go on to the applications for disability. Let's go ahead and take a short 5-minute break, 6 minutes break. Let's come back at 9:50.